Welcome to the Tatted Tatter Crochet and Tatting Podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I am coming to you after an incredibly long hiatus. And I have another episode, and I'm going to try to keep it going. I'm thinking every other week, because having a baby means you don't get as much crocheting and knitting done. But this is a podcast all about the various things that I am crocheting and knitting and sometimes various other crafts, and about various life things. And we're going to have a ridiculously long episode because it has been over 7 months since I last podcasted. And I'll give you a life update at the end because a lot of various things have happened in my life and I have a lot of things to say about what's going on in the world right now. I will try to keep myself contained. But yeah, so the baby's taking a nap. We'll see how long it lasts. You might get to see him. If not, I'll make sure I put in some pictures at the end because he's really cute. Just gotta share it with the world. So yeah, if you want to find me online, I am on Instagram as Tatted Tatter, the Tatted Tatter for Instagram. And that's pretty much where you can find me. I am on Ravelry, but I'll talk about Ravelry at the end because that's one of the things I have a lot of things to say about. So yeah, welcome back. It's weird to be back, but also very exciting. As you can see, I have a new background. I just finished putting up these shelves and hanging this stuff today. We have moved. We are still in Southern California, but we are no longer partially in Oregon. If you were watching before I stopped podcasting 7 months ago, then you will know that we were in Oregon part of the time and in California part of the time because of my job, but we are now in California all of the time, so we moved into a bigger place and it's much better. And now I get this cool little setup to podcast in front of. This is one of my bedroom walls. So you are currently propped up on a box on top of the mattress for my bed. So yeah, let's get to it. This is one of the things I want to show you. Not this mug, you've seen this mug before if you've watched before. All things Disney. But for Christmas, I got a milk frother machine thing. It's cylindrical and you put milk or half and half or whatever in it, and it has a little whisk insert thing, and you spin it and it froths your milk and it heats it up, and it's the greatest thing ever. So now I can make myself tea lattes because I don't really drink coffee, and they are what bring me joy. Every day, little bits of joy. So yeah, tea lattes. I'm gonna have foam all over my mouth for this whole episode. I hope you're ready for that. And my water and tea are sitting on the footboard of the bed. It's exciting. Okay, so since it's been so long since I've seen you, I thought I would go through just very quickly my finished objects, and then I do have some very active whips. I have a decent amount of whips, but I'm only going to show you the ones that I've actually worked on since we moved, which is 3 weeks ago. So hold on, I gotta let the cat in. She saw that it was me and she was like, oh, never mind, I don't want to come inside because I don't like you. The cat really does not like me very much. My hair is doing weird things. That's fine. Okay. So, gonna go through the things that I finished. There are some things I can't show you because either the baby is currently sleeping with them, or they are in his room where he's sleeping, or they were for charity. I made a bunch of stuff for a charity auction recently, or they were Christmas gifts. So I'm just gonna pretend those don't exist for podcast purposes. If you really want to see them, you can go on my Ravelry or look on Instagram because I posted everything on Instagram. So also, I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm just going to pick them up based on what I have. The first thing which is one of my favorite things, is what I'm wearing. Ignore the crease. It's been folded up in my closet. I haven't been wearing it because Corona. I don't have anywhere to wear it to. So this is the Taroko sweater, which is a crochet colorwork sweater from Nomad Stitches, and it's one of the greatest things ever. So it uses waistcoat stitch, which I know why people don't usually call it that. It's also called central single crochet, and it took me forever to figure out how to do that stitch without wanting to scream every 2 minutes or so, but I did it, and I made the sweater, and I'm really excited about it. So I'll try to stand. I don't know how much of it you're gonna be able to see, but you can see the color work, and there's another lace section, and then there's a little bit of color work at the bottom. Yeah, I'll probably put in a picture or two. You see the back. It's a little bit shorter than I usually like to wear things, but I just wanted to be done with it. So it's like, it's long enough. And it's short sleeve. And this yarn is Buku Yarns, which is from Amanda Rios, who is out of Make One Yarn Company, which is the yarn shop that I love to go to up in Laverne, near LA, or in LA County. It's not really near LA. And I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it. I'm so proud of myself for making this. And I like that it's kind of outside my color scheme usually. Like, I would never pair these colors together myself, but I asked Amanda, because I know her personally, to, like, this is what I need. Pick out some colors for me. Like, here's the general idea. These are the colors that I like. And she picked these out for me. And this was like, the yarn was my birthday gift to myself, and then the sweater was my birthday gift to myself. And I just felt so much. I'm really proud of myself. Okay. So, other thing that's on the top of the pile is another sweater. So this is the Flax Sweater by Tin Can Knits. The yarn is Long Dog yarn. It's a DK, and the colorway is Rose Gold. So Tin Can Knits does a lot. It had like a whole basics pattern series, and so this is like their basic sweater. So it's a top-down raglan sleeve. It looks ginormous because I have decently sized boobs, so it looks really big when I'm holding it up, but then it actually does fit me. And it's basically just a really straight raglan, except it has these garter panels on the sleeves. And you can see my weird, I needed to decrease a lot more. I should have decreased more smoothly along the arm, but I didn't, and I didn't want to rip it out, so I just did a little thing. It's on the bottom, so you can't see it. But yeah, this took me forever. I had started making a different sweater in November of like 2018, 2017, somewhere, one of those years. I was in my in-laws, so I know it was Thanksgiving. And I was like, you know what? I'm finally gonna make myself a knit sweater because I got good enough at knitting. I don't know why I thought I was good enough at knitting back then. It must have been 18. Anyway, and so I decided to do an easier one, which was this one, this pattern. So I started it again Thanksgiving 2019, and then I finished it in like January. So, da-da-da, really basic. I think my gauge was really off, because my gauge is really off with everything. So I think I did the extra large stitch count, and then I just kept trying it on to see how long it needed to be. It's pretty great. It also, again, is a little short than I usually wear things. But by the time I was getting toward the end, I was like, I wish we'd be done with this. So I will live with it. Okay, next. Ooh, I love this one too. So this was also a long time whip. One of my goals over the last couple of months has been to try to knock out a bunch of long time whips. So I didn't buy a lot of yarn. I didn't buy any yarn for months, and I got a bunch of long-term whips done. So this was one of them. So you may remember this if you've been watching for any length of time. That's backward. It's cool with the light now, how it's kind of transparent. So this is the Akiko Shell, which is by, I'm gonna forget. I can't remember. You have to look it up. Akiko, A-K-I-K-O, Shell. And the base is Malabrigo, the base color, the blue one. It's one of their fingering weight bases, and the color is something in French. I'm not going to pronounce it correctly. Côte d'Azur. I think it's French. I don't know. I took Spanish and Japanese, so if it's not one of those, then I'm not sure. Maybe Spanish. I don't know. And then the rainbow is Republica Unicornia. Kathleen, which you can find. She has her own website now because Etsy was apparently charging crazy amounts of money. So republicaunicornia.com, spelled how it sounds. And I just love this. And then I did a different edging. She had like this crazy puff stitch edging down on the bottom, and I just did picots. So, but I love this because all about the rainbows, as you will see soon. And this is really great. I'm not wearing any hand knits basically right now. Again, Corona, not leaving the house, but also because it is too hot. It's like 90 something degrees today, and I'm not about that life. So, yay. Luckily our air conditioning works. We first moved in, the refrigerator didn't work. We fixed it, and we're probably gonna replace it. The air conditioner broke for like 2 days when it was in the 80s, and something else didn't work. Anyway, we got it all fixed. There you go. Akiko. Ooh, and then this one is the, what did she call this? The You Are Not Alone Cowl. So I tested this pattern for Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet and love it. It took me like a day and a half to finish it because this is worsted weight yarn. This is some random yarn I had in my stash, but it's baby llama and silk, king baby llama and mulberry silk that I bought randomly at a yarn shop a long time ago. And I don't have a lot of worsted weight yarn that's not acrylic, like cotton or Caron cakes or whatever. So, and the worsted weight yarn I do have is all like speckled or like lots of colors in it, and I wanted a solid for this, so I tried it and it worked. But look at the texture on that. Look at how great that is. So Hannah just released this pattern not that long ago, so you should totally go check it out. The You Are Not Alone Cowl. We have this one, which was one of the mystery crochet alongs from the Crochet Project. And I think it was their winter one. It's very long. And my gauge was super off for this one too, so it's much more shallow than I think it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be shallow, but not this shallow. But it just uses short rows to do this cool effect. And the yarn is coop knits, not coop knits, something, maybe coop knits? Anyway, Socks Yeah is the name of the yarn, and it was a kit that worked with this scarf. It's not really a shawl, it's more of a scarf. It just happens to have pointy edges. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not my favorite one that I've ever made. Wearing it is kind of hard to do. So, I don't know what I'll do with this. But it was fun making it because the short rows were fun and it was interesting. So there's that. Yeah, I can't fold it up without the corners curling, so that's totally fine. Then we have this one, which was also a lot of fun. So this is the forget everything today. It's from Reishi Nguyen. She's like so many crochet patterns. And I did this as part of the Yarn Over Trucks Stitch Along. They've been doing virtual stitch groups via Zoom. And so I joined in on a couple and they were doing the stitch along. So I went ahead and joined in. It's like this something trails wrap. I'm recording this on my phone, so I can't look, and my computer's in the other room and I'm not gonna go get it. So my apologies. But I wish I could remember it. But if you go to Reishi Nguyen, you'll see it. But so the yarn, the black is Forbidden Fibers. Their Pride base, which has Stellina in it, and it's I believe it's called Cowl is the colorway. And then the minis, the rainbow, which I love so much, is from Yarn Over New York. It was one of their Social Justice Warrior project yarns, was the mini set. So I bought that, and then as soon as I saw this scarf, it was like, oh, I'm making that. Unless it's more of a wrap, it's pretty thick. But I just, like, I'm all about the rainbows right now, and I really love the way that this worked up. I had to modify the pattern because the pattern was made for 7 minis, or for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it was made for fewer minis that were bigger, so I just modified the pattern a little bit. I figured out how many rows I could do with the minis and all that kind of stuff, and then just went from there. But I love that one so much. And then, oh goodness, this monstrosity. Monstrosity has a negative connotation. It is gorgeous, but it is huge. But this is the Rapture shawl from Rosina of Zines and Rogers. And I, again, started this forever ago, and then I tried to finish it when I was pregnant, and then I messed up. This is Crochet Brioche, and so I messed up the border, and I was like, no. So, of course, there was a tutorial video, and I didn't watch it, so then, not that long ago, when I was doing my Finish Your Whips project, I pulled this one out and finished it, because I was like, I was done, except for the border. So, now it's completely done. The yarns are various. This first one is a yarn that I hand dyed, I think using roses or avocados, one or the other. And then there's some peekaboo yarn in there. And then this pink one is peekaboo, that's a Zara base, or the Zara colorway, which I have a million skeins of it. And then the black is Molly Klein, Black Balloon, and then the pink is Western Sky Knits. So there's that Mamma Jamma. She's huge and good for warm, keeping you warm on cold days. So again, not really wearing it right now. There's this one, which you would have seen some of because I had already started it before I podcasted last, but I finished it after my last podcast. So I may have shown these things on the vlog, so if you've seen anything of these things on the Vlogmas, then I apologize, but I wasn't going to go through and look and see what I'd shown. So this is the, this is like just a simple 2-color brioche knitted cowl, and it's going to blow out if I get too close. Well, that's not too bad. Stretchy! So it's yarn that I got that is wool and silk from Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival. And it's just from, I don't think they sell anything online. They just sell at festivals in Oregon because it's a local sheep farm. So yeah, there are a million errors in it and it's hilarious, but luckily they're all generally in the same place, so I just make that the back. But I was very proud of myself because I learned how to do brioche, and I finished it just in time to wear to the family Christmas party, which we have the Saturday after Thanksgiving every year. So it fulfilled its purpose. And it kind of is reversible because the whole brioche, but I like it better with the green as the main color. But I like that a lot. Yeah, and like I said, I finished that in November, so I have no idea what the pattern is called. Okay. 2 more, it looks like. So we have this soft, squishy, beautiful, wonderful, and amazing thing, which I was also mostly done with. I just had to finish, like, I think I did maybe this much, somewhere around there. I had finished all of this. I just had that last bit to finish up with. Okay, so this is the Loft Shawl from Faye. It's the knitted DK version, and the yarn is Lemonade Shop, which I bought at like 3 years ago at the LA Yarn Crawl. I'm pretty sure I bought these at Make One. And it's just, I finished it and I was like, eh. And then I blocked it and I was like, oh my God, I love this shawl so much. It is so soft and drapey, and the colors are just so much fun. I love it, 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 love it. And it has this gorgeous I-cord edging. You can't really see it very well. There you go. And then there's an I-cord bind off, which is annoying. It takes forever, but it's gorgeous. So yes, and it's really easy. And Faye does the tutorial video, which of course I referenced pretty much while I was making the entire thing, especially when I had to come back to it after, oh, I don't know, a year, maybe more. So yeah, so cool. And it's made for 3 colors. So, and I love the speckles in this. It's so beautiful. I love it. I think I might make my mom one, you know, when I'm my free time. But she really liked it, and they just moved to southern Washington State, so it's actually still pretty chilly there. So she'd be able to wear something like this most of the year. She can't have this one though, because I love it. Also, it's not really her colors. She's more of a fall. So, all right, one more. I've done all that in like 20 something minutes. That's not bad. Ta-da! I've loved a lot of the things I've made recently, which is good. So this is the Just Feel Better shawl from, no, it's not Just Feel Better, Just Feel Festive. This is the Just Feel Festive shawl from Kalisha of Quirky Monday Crafts. And it's using many minis. I tried to do kind of a rainbow fade, as you can see. So we go from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and then we start with hot pink and we end with hot pink. And this is all minis from Vicki Brown, maybe some other ones, but I think it was mostly Vicki Brown designs. Yeah, from the Advent. So I did not do an Advent I did do an Advent. I did not do an Advent calendar this year. Did I? Yes? Did I do 2? I don't know. I had a crap ton of minis, so I'm assuming I did an Advent calendar. Honestly, I can't remember. Yeah, because I think I was like trying to open them on the vlog. I'm sorry, my brain is broken. But it's July. That was December, so I shouldn't be surprised that I don't remember these things, because I barely remember what I did 2 days ago, because all of my brain power is spent on moving and taking care of a tiny human. So I'll have to give myself a little grace there. But it's on my Instagram, and it's also on Ravelry. Yeah, it's on my Instagram, what I used. So look at, oh God, it's so pretty. I love it. It's so big and squishy, and it was perfect for Oregon in the winter. and it took me just a few days to make it because I basically just sat on the couch and just grannied away. I think I watched Zumbo's Just Desserts on Netflix while I was making it. So yeah, it's just, I call this my unicorn and rainbows wrap because the hot pink makes it unicorn, obviously. And rainbow! Yeah, I love this thing. It's ginormous. It's way bigger than my wingspan. Like, I would wear it right now if it weren't too warm, even with the air conditioning on. So, yay! That's all of the things, minus Christmas gifts and the charity stuff that I made. And I made Alexander a couple of small things. I made him some really cute dinosaurs. They're called cuddlers. So the head is stuffed and then the body is flat. And he's actually old enough to sleep with them now, so he's sleeping with them because we're slowly trying to wean him off the pacifiers. We call them binkies. So having something else to sleep with will help because then he has something else to kind of help him soothe himself to sleep. Although he's an amazing sleeper. I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm going to brag a little bit. He sleeps so well. It's insane. But yeah. So, works in progress. What am I working on? All crochet things, because I just haven't felt like knitting recently, which is fine. I'm okay with this. So, first, this, oh good, is a new craft. So I started learning Tunisian crochet. It's a bag from Crochet Luna, and I'm just using some Loops and Threads wool-like. So it's a super fine, almost, it's between lace and fingering. And I am making the Tunisian Express scarf from Ruth Brash. And this is what I got so far. So, let me try to get it closer without pulling the yarn too much or getting it in my tea. This is it. It uses Tunisian simple stitch, so it's very easy, which is good for a beginner. I caught on pretty quick because I've been crocheting for a while now, but it still definitely uses different skills, and you have to remember different things. But yeah, so it has these spikes that of course are very curly because Tunisian is very curly, and it keeps getting it bigger as you go. So it's just gonna be like a big boomerang type shape. And I'm using a Denise hook. This is a 5.5? 4. Just kidding, not even close. So I went ahead because I was like 95% sure I was going to enjoy Tunisian crochet, and got myself the Denise Interchangeable travel hook set. I bought it on Amazon, and it comes in this cute little pouch, and these are the hooks, and then it has all the cables, and they're all plastic and they click together really well. So it's great. I saw Hannah from the Cozy Cottage showed it off a long time ago, and so when I was thinking about learning Tunisian, I was like, I'll just go ahead and get it, treat myself a little bit, and then that way I don't have to go and buy individual ones, because it's really hard to find Tunisian crochet hooks in like Joann's or Michael's or anywhere like that. So now I have what I need without having to worry about it. It's like if your gauge is off and then you gotta go get another one, it's like, or order a million of them, and you probably are gonna end up paying more in the long run anyway. So I just went ahead and bought the kit. So that's good times. I'm also doing, I love this bag. Is this one from, is this DNA Designs by Angie? Yes, DNA Designs by Angie. Little unicorns, and has the crochet project pin on it because I'm doing their other mystery crochet along. So they have a new one going, and this one is called the While We Waited Mystery Crochet Along, and Joanne Grace is the designer, and she designed it as like a response to everything we've been going through as a planet with Corona. and so it's like the while we waited. So while we waited to see what the world was going to turn into, while we waited to be able to leave the house. So she partnered with Vicky of Vicky Brown Designs to do yarn kits. And this was like the first, other than my birthday yarn, because that doesn't count. It was like the first yarn that I bought in a very long time. But I did the baking banana bread kit. So she had like 3 color scheme options, and that was the one that I did. So I'll show you a piece that has all 3 colors in it, because it's been really interesting. And I've actually really enjoyed it. Sometimes the mystery crochet alongs, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, that was fine. But this one I'm actually really enjoying. So if you don't want to know what's going on with this mystery crochet along, don't look. But here's one piece. So I'm doing the wrap version. There's a scarf version and a wrap version. And these are the colors together. And look at how cool that is. These are so outside my normal range, which is why I picked it. And also because it was called the baking banana bread one. And I baked so much banana bread during isolation. So there you go. These are really cool. So the first clue was making a bunch of these squares. And then the next clue was adding on the color blocking part. You can see it's got some texture, which is really nice. And so there's 2 of these. That was the first 2 clues, was to make those 2. And then I am almost done with the 4th clue. So the 3rd clue was to make these lovelies, which I absolutely love, these little flower squares. And then to do this. So there's 2 of these, and then I'm working on the 3rd one, which is going to be the same, except it's also going to have some more striping with this color that the squares are in. So now I have to do the pinky color, and then another set of striping with the lighter yellow. So yeah, so this is great, and I love it. And I'm really interested to see, because this is what I have. It's like just these pieces, and then the last clue comes out on this coming Wednesday. So then I assume that is how you put it all together. So that should be a lot of fun. So that's been great. And I'm using a 4.5 millimeter for that. And that's my tulip crochet hooks. It's a lovely little kit that I also got on Amazon. I've shown this before because I got it a while ago. But they're out of Japan, so they're really hard to get in the United States. And Merity of the Yarn Over truck carries them on the truck, and I got a couple from her, well, like 1 or 2 because they're kind of expensive. And I tried it and I loved it, so I went ahead and bought the kit on Amazon because it was on sale. So, and it comes with these cute little scissors and the measuring tape for gauge swatches, and it came with some yarn hooks. Good times. So, there's those. There's this one, which I have not worked on in a little while, but I wanted to show you because it's pretty recent. This bag I got at Make One. There's no, oh, the Jellyfish Barn. Make One carries a lot of her stuff. I assume she's local to me. So this, I remember the name of this one. This is the Bumps in the Road shawl. Again, from Reishi Nguyen. And there's no right or wrong side. I don't think. I'm gonna do this as the right side. So this is it so far. I love these colors together. Again, this was inspired by the stitch along from the Yarn Over truck. I just didn't finish it in time. So yeah, it's really cool how you do the bumps. It's a paid for pattern, so I won't give anything away. And then there's this really gorgeous lace border that goes on it in the darker purple color. So I will finish that. The next thing that I'm working on is what I'm focusing on when I'm not doing the mystery crochet along, because once I finish the clue for that week, I need something else to work on. Anyway, so I will finish this relatively soon. And the yarns that I'm using, Disawan, is not, oh, it is this one. So this is Dilot Studios. I have to put this down because it's falling out of my lap. Dialot Studios, the Best Friend base, which is 75% BFL, 25% nylon. The PB&J colorway, which I love because it is this like purple and brownish tan and creamy color. And then this loveliness, this dark purple, is from Yarn Love, which I did get from the Yarn Over truck because they carry Yarn Love. It's the Marie Antoinette base, which is 80% superwash, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. I love MCN. This is the colorway Arabian Nights. So I knew this needed to be for something special because MCN is not cheap. So I'm working on that. Man, I'm crushing it right now, time-wise. And then the last thing that I'm working on, which has been my main whip for the last, I don't know, 3 weeks. Did I start this after we moved or before we moved? I don't remember. Oh, it's gonna be so crinkly. So, I think after we moved. Yeah, because this was here, this was an orange. So anyway, I am making the Summertime Tee by, the pattern's in the bag. Oh, excuse me, not the Summertime Tee. I do want to make the Summertime Tee by TL Yarn Crafts, but I'll talk about that at a later podcast when I actually start working on it. This is the Positano Tee by Olivia Kent of Hopeful Honey. And so I bought this kit from Lion Brand like last summer. And it sat in my drawer and I never did anything with it because it's made, why do I keep doing this? I need to keep picking up this stupid bag. There we go, here's a yarn band. And it was a kit from Lion Brand, and it uses the LB collection cotton bamboo. So it's 52% cotton, 48% rayon from bamboo. And this is the colorway 621224. I think it's like cream or something like that. It's nothing fancy, because it is cream colored. So this is the first panel, and it uses a fun stitch to kind of set up the body. And then there's the kind of lacy top, so it's gonna sit, this is the back, but it's gonna sit like this, and then you're supposed to make them both the same size, but I'll talk about that in a second. And then you just seam them at the shoulders and then add sleeves. So once it's blocked, maybe more like that. So it's very nice. I like it a lot. It's really light and cottony. And I'm using a 4mm. So again, my gauge was super off. I crochet a lot tighter, I'm realizing, making the Tarokos would help me realize that, because I was doing it so tight that I couldn't get the crochet hook in where I needed to do the center single crochet. So at least I learned that about myself, because I'm not going to crochet any looser. I did have 2 for this, but generally speaking, I'm just not going to change the way that I crochet. I've been doing it for too long. And so I tried it with a 4.5mm, and I didn't like the fabric. It was too holey for a top, because I would rather not have to wear anything under this, like this, because of the lace sections, because there's one in the midriff. I have to wear something underneath it, so it's a little warm. But so this I didn't have to do that with. So for my bust size, I could have made the medium large. But I went ahead and made the extra large. And after I finish this panel, it's still way too small. So what I've done is I've started the second panel, and I increased it by 4 inches. So based on my gauge, I had to do 20 extra stitches. You just need an even number to do this particular stitch pattern. And so it's gonna be, and it looks like it's way too big, but when you get down to my tummy, it needs to be that big, otherwise it's gonna be way too tight. And I hate stuff that's tight around my middle. just makes me feel really uncomfortable. I like stuff to be loose. So yeah, so this is as far as I've gotten on the second panel. Because I've increased so much and my gauge was so much tighter, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough yarn, because I only have one more ball left. I have one full ball, and then I have this one, which is, you know, this is one ball. And then I have a partial ball left from when I finish this, because I figured I'd just use that to make the sleeves. So if I can get more, I may have to get more, or I will have to adjust the sleeves and just maybe do like a small border. And it's off the shoulder, so it shouldn't be too bad anyway. But anyway, that's what I got. And I really am liking how it's working up. Was so frustrated because, oh no, this is the second ball. I just added this ball. So yeah, that's why I think I'm gonna run out of yarn, because this up to like here was one ball. So this only took one ball, and I need this to be way longer because I'm making this one long enough so that I like the length. So chances are pretty high I'm gonna need more yarn. I should go look on Lion Brand's website and see if they have more of this. Or if I have to like ask around on the internet or something, I will. But so yeah, so that's the Positano tee. I like it very much. I hate that sound. That's all of my active whips. So, and the only other yarny thing I wanted to show you was I bought a bunch of yarn recently, and I'm not going to buy any more yarn because they're all for a very specific purpose. So it started with Molly Klein Design. You know, I've bought a decent amount of her yarn. She had these babies. So this is a rainbow mini set. This is the Bright Tonal Rainbow. Love. It's 7 20-gram minis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, maybe more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is 10 20-gram minis. You know it. So it's 200 yards worth. So I got that. And then, oh God. Oh, I have to cut that part out. Then I saw that Kathleen of Republica Unicornia had a shop update, and she had these. Boom. So this is her highlighter mini skein set, and it is 5 20-gram minis. So get that beautifulness. Why did I throw that on the floor? I wanted to hold them all up together. I'm sitting in sitting in a countertop height seat so that I could have this cool little background behind me, and now there's things all over the floor. Anyway, I also got this from Republica Unicornia. This is her BFL DK base, and this is the Unicorn Birthday Party colorway. I just couldn't help myself when I was ordering. And I think if I did a certain dollar amount, then I got free shipping. So I figured, why the heck not? Since I knew I was not gonna be buying any more yarn for a while. So there's that one. Just toss that over there for now. And then I just got this recently. And when I saw this, my idea came together, because I was like, boom, I want that. So this is a mini skein set from Long Dog Yarn, and this is, did she name this? Oh yeah, Colorway Rainbow Brites mini skein set. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is 7 20-ounce minis. Rainbow. And so these are all like neon bright rainbow. I got this bag from Republica Unicornia, so I'm keeping all of it in there because it's huge. It's what I need. So when I saw all of this, I was like, I know exactly what's gonna happen. I am gonna get some white finger weight yarn, and I'm gonna make a granny stripe blanket with all these rainbow minis and some white. So let me get off my chair for a minute. Ooh, plastic sound. All of these beauties are gonna go in the same blanket. And so what I did was I went on Knit Picks and I ordered some Bear Felici sock yarn. I have 2 more of these coming. I was like, oh yeah, 2's fine. And then I realized that doesn't make any sense. I need an equal number of grammage. So, I mean, I actually didn't even do that correctly. This is 10, 15, 22. I may have to figure something out, maybe a little short. Anyway, so I'm gonna have 400 grams of this because it's like $9 a skein. So I was like, I can handle that. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a swatch with one of the 20 gram minis because they're all about the same yardage, I think. 463. I'm not gonna do math, but they're all roughly the same fingering weightness. So I'm gonna do a swatch in a granny stitch, maybe like 10 or 12 granny clusters. I don't even think I need to do that many. Anyway, and figure out how many stitches I need for however many, like how many stitches I can get out of a 20 gram mini. And I'm gonna make it so I do 2 stripes, and then I'll do 2 stripes of white, and then I'll do another mini, and then 2 stripes of white, and then another mini. And it's gonna be so cool. So what I haven't figured out yet is what order I'm gonna do them in. Am I gonna do like, because they're different numbers of minis per, right? So I've got 10, and then I have 5, and then I have 7. So I don't even have like 10 and 10. I got 10 and 14, or 10, 5, and 7. So, and they don't all have the same colors because they don't have as many, blah, blah, blah. So I've got to like sit them all out and kind of play with them. Like what I did for my Just Feel Festive shawl was I like laid out all the minis, and then I figured out what order I wanted to put them in. So I'm gonna have to do that with these to figure out how that's gonna work. But it's gonna be the coolest blanket ever, and I'm gonna use it. I'm not gonna leave it in the living room because the cat and the dog and the baby and the husband don't have any respect for the hand knits. So you don't leave really nice stuff in the living room because it'll get kneaded on, and the dog will try to dig in it, and the baby will drool all over it and get Cheerios all over it, and the husband will just not pay attention and will like accidentally spill something on it or something. So I'm gonna keep it in my bedroom, and I'm gonna snuggle up with it when it's cold outside. That's exactly what's gonna happen. But I need to finish at least one of these whips. I want to finish the mystery crochet along because when the next clue comes out, I should be able to finish it and be done. And then I want to finish the Positano tee, so I need to finish the mystery crochet along so I can work on the tee. Although if I have to wait for more yarn to come, then I guess I'll have to finish something else. I'm really trying to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Diligent in finishing up whips, because then when we moved, I realized, I was like, oh God, I have so many more whips that I haven't been working on. And I frogged a bunch of them. So that was good, like things that I just knew I wasn't gonna like, or I wasn't gonna want to work on, or whatever. So that was good. But I realized I still have more whips to work on. So yeah, no more yarn. No more yarn buying for a reasonable amount of time, probably till Christmas. I think so, unless I like have to have it for a project that I'm already working on, or that a whip that I already have, like the Positano tee, then no more yarn. And it's nuts because I've seen so many people posting, and there's like a virtual yarn festival coming up in August, and I was like, no more yarn, especially because now I'm also only working half-time. So that can take us to the life updates. I'm still under an hour. This is pretty great. So life. Yeah, if you've been watching for any length of time, longer than 7 months, then you will know that my job moved to Oregon. So I work for a seminary on staff, and I moved to Oregon because the school is moving to Oregon. So I moved up there to help them kind of transition, and We were going back and forth because my husband was working down in LA in Orange County. He's a musician, and the traveling was a lot, and then coronavirus happened, so we were in isolation in Oregon. We came to California for a week in March because we were already planning on being here during spring break, and my in-laws were going to come and they were going to watch the baby. We were going to go to Disneyland for my birthday, and then everything shut down. So we still came because it was like at the very beginning of when everything was starting to shut down in California anyway. And then we went back to Oregon on like March 30th, and then we were there at home. And that was it. There was no traveling, there was nothing happening. So, there was no reason for me to go into the office because nobody was there because Corona, and then eventually the campus just completely shut down, especially once all the students left in May. So we decided that it just made sense for us to come back to California. So I talked to my work, and I'm now officially half-time, and then the other half taking care of the baby, because it was getting to the point where we're gonna have to start doing daycare, and that's really expensive. I'd rather be home with him. So we made that work, and then my husband came down a couple times and looked at a bunch of places, and we found a nice house. So we moved, I think June 12th was the day that we left Oregon, and we moved in on June 15th because we drove, which was fine. I had to sit in the back with the baby basically the entire time because he's old enough now where he needs to be entertained. And he's really good at entertaining himself when we're at home. Like earlier today when I was putting up these shelves, that wall is for his bedroom, so obviously I can't do that while he's asleep because I drill holes in the wall. So he just played on the floor and hung out with the animals and played with his toys, and we closed the doors. He really likes closing doors right now. But in the car, when he's stuck in the car seat and he can't really move, not so much the case. So, but it was fine. We did it, and you couldn't really do anything anyway because Corona, everything was closed, so we just pretty much drove straight. And I made food, and we stopped at rest stops, and we just ate tuna fish sandwiches and did that kind of thing instead of trying to eat out and worry about all that. So yeah, so now we're here. We've been here for a couple weeks. There's still a decent amount of stuff to unpack in the living room, but I got the bedroom done, so that's a step in the right direction. Because once we moved from Oregon, we then had to get all of our stuff out of our old apartment in California, and so that took we gave ourselves like 2 weeks to do that. And so like once I got all the Oregon stuff put away, then we brought in all of the California stuff. So now we are slowly putting that stuff away, but it's mostly my stuff because my husband had already kind of done a lot of his stuff already because he was able to come down a little bit. And I just had a lot of stuff, mostly yarn. So I am going to try to get myself together for the next podcast to do like a welcome back giveaway. So I've been going through my stash, and I'll hopefully have some stuff. And I found like a couple of Nerdbird Makery pins that I forgot I had, and some Crochet Luna pins. I've got a bunch of yarn. I'm gonna give the acrylic worsted stuff to some women from the church that I used to work at, because they make blankets for the VA, and they're out of yarn. I got a message from the new pastor, and she was like, "Do you have any yarn?" They need yarn. So I'm putting that aside for them, but I should have a decent amount of other kinds of yarn that I can do a little giveaway with, and that'll be a fun get back into it kind of thing to say thank you for coming back even after my very long absence. But because of everything that was going on, I wasn't going to stress myself out about recording and all that kind of fun things. But now nothing is back to normal. Nothing about life is normal right now. But now that we've kind of settled into what is our new normal, it's a little bit easier. And because I'm only working half time, I got more time to do this kind of fun stuff. And I want to do a couple of other things, like I have a ridiculous amount of paper crafting stuff from when I did paper crafting with my mom. I did Stampin' Up. So my plan is to just use all of that as much as I can in as few sittings as I can, like just have like a couple of days where I just make cards and then either try to sell them online or take them to some shops that we have in town that do that kind of stuff, that sell stuff on consignment like that. Because those are open, obviously with social distancing and masks and all that kind of fun stuff. And it'll take me a while to get them done, so maybe by then people will have gotten it together and we'll be able to be a little bit more open. So yeah, I have plans. I want to do some dyeing because I have acid dyes and I just have never used them. So now that I have a big enough kitchen, I can do stuff like that. Yeah, try some new and fun things in my free time. Because even though I'm only working half time, I am a mom full time. So babies, and he sleeps great. Look, I'm recording for an hour, and it took me like 30 minutes to get set up. Still asleep, and he already took a 2-hour nap today. I have a great kid. He's pretty much the best. And he sleeps like 10, 11 hours at night, so I'll take it. I mean, I worked very hard to sleep train him, but still, he did the bulk of the work by doing the actual sleeping. So yeah, so it's kind of our life update. That's where we are. My husband has a little bit of work, doing like social distanced block parties and things like that, playing for them, and then they're just doing a lot of writing and arranging and that kind of thing. There'll probably be an album coming because they have time to sit down and get that stuff worked out. And then yeah, I'm just working remotely on the computer, mostly while the baby naps, whenever he goes to bed. Because if I'm on my computer, he wants to see what's going on, because we've FaceTimed and Zoomed enough with other people that if he sees the computer, he's like, oh, I get to talk to grandmom. But no, I'm working. So it's just easier to do it when he's asleep. Because he sleeps so much, not a problem. So yeah, I think that's all the life updates. It's pretty much where things are going. It's a lot that has happened in a very short period of time. But yeah, like I said, now we're starting to settle in, and that's good. So yeah, good times. The people on the internet. Look, we have a baby. He's a big baby now. Can you see yourself in the phone? Can you say hi? Say hi. Hi. He's kind of learning how to wave, but not when he's distracted by seeing himself in the phone. So this is Alexander. He's the best baby ever. That's all I have to say about that. I am a little bit biased. But yeah, so since he's awake, a couple of very quick points that I want to make, just so that you know where I stand. And it's cool if you disagree, totally fine with that. If you don't want to watch my videos anymore because you disagree with me, cool. Sorry to see you go, but that's just how it is. So there are a couple of things that I feel like I want to say, just to encourage people to think about what they're doing and to maybe let you know about some stuff that you might not know about. So 1, please wear your mask. The end. 2, Black Lives Matter. The end. 3, accessibility matters. So I don't know if you've seen what's been going on with Ravelry, but the new web design is not accessible for a lot of people, and people are having seizures as a result. So if one person having a seizure is bad enough, but there have been at least 10 at this point. So Ravelry needs to do something about this. I'm not going to spend money on that website until they do. If you don't have any accessibility issues with the new Ravelry, switch back to classic mode, and then that'll show them that more people are using classic mode instead of the new one. Maybe they'll do something about it. If not, then we're just gonna have to find something else. And I know some people are working on other options. So, rewinding to point number 2 about Black Lives Matter. One of the things that oh, there you go, say hi. Hi, big baby. One of the things that I have been doing is trying to educate myself as a white person. And so I am going to be reading this book, Ta-Nehisi Coates. I'm I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm gonna have to look that up so I can pronounce it correctly. Between the World and Me. I've always heard it pronounced Ta-Nehisi Coates. Anyway, so I'm gonna read this. My goal is to read it before the next podcast, so in 2 weeks. And if you would like to read this after me, I'd be happy to send it to you. The only caveat being you have to commit to reading it and then sending it to somebody else so that we can kind of pass on the knowledge. So it's relatively short, and I've already looked through some of it, and I've seen plenty of quotes and stuff from the book, and so it's very, very well written, very easy to understand. I think it's a good place for me to start to kind of get back into that mode of reading. And there you go, it's baby Will before us. He loves books, which is great, and all of that. So I think it'll be a good starter to get back into it, because there are a bunch of other books that I want to read that I know a lot of people are reading right now, and I will probably end up having to get the Kindle version because a lot of them are selling out, which is great. But yeah, so if you want to read this after I'm done, either comment below or send me a message on Instagram. And it'll be a first come, first serve situation, just whomever is able to respond first. He thinks he's cute. And by that I mean he knows he's cute. So yeah, working on educating. I'll share the books with you that I read, and if I have any thoughts on them about how easy they are to read and all that kind of fun stuff. I have a couple of very heady theology books, and so those are going to be a little further down the line after I kind of get back into the mode of reading and reading comprehension, because that takes practice. It's not just something that happens. So yeah, anyway, the next book that I'm getting that I'm excited about is called White Christian Privilege. I'm using a section of it for some of my students for them to analyze and respond to, and so I figured I should read the whole book. So that's coming in the mail because it's brand new, but I'll let you know how that goes too. It'll be here in a week. So anyway, yeah, that would be my encouragement to you. If you were a white person, just educate yourself as much as you can to thinking about how people of color, especially Black people, experience the world, because you can't know what it's like for someone else. I can only speak from my own experience as a white mama, a white Christian, middle class, educated, cis, heterosexual, married person, all those, the list goes on and on. I can only speak from that experience because that's the only thing that I have experienced. So what I'm trying to do is read other people's experiences so that I can hopefully understand a bit better people who are different than I am. And the other important thing too is to believe people when they tell you what their experience has been, because you can't know. You just can't know. And it's so you read it or you listen to it and then you believe them. This is especially true, I think, with women. We need to believe women when they tell us things, because women are often written off, and especially women of color. Which I do want to let you know about something. It's called the Empower People 2020 project. I think it's just Empower People 2020. But it's a project that a bunch of people are doing, including Claudia from Crochet Luna, and then Lady Dye Yarns, and a bunch of other people, where they've put out some patterns, knit, crochet, and sewing for purple bandanas. And you make the bandana, and then you talk about why you're wearing the bandana. And the point is to encourage people to go vote, and especially to get women involved in local politics. Hi. And to talk about social justice issues, specifically those affecting marginalized communities. So hopefully this adorable baby will give you encouragement to go get involved in these things, because we do it for people like him. Yeah, so that you can live in a better world and not punch your mom in the face. Oh God, your fingers are drooly. Hashtag mom life. I get drooled on a lot, and I'm just constantly covered in Cheerios, so he really likes Cheerios. So yeah, those are the things that I have to say about that. I'll also show you, I just ordered some really cool masks, so I'll try to show you those. They were a little pricey, so But anyway, I will show you those when they come in, because please, 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 if you are physically able, wear a mask, because it's about the community and not just about ourselves as individuals. Like, we all have to play our part in this as much as we are able to help. I'm going to take that as agreement. We all have to do our part to help stop the spread and to help save lives. And if that means that I have to be inconvenienced when I go to the grocery store and smell my own breath for a little while, then that's just how it has to be. And being stuck in the house is miserable and I hate it. But it's just what we have to do, because that's the time that we live in now. And we want to make the world a better place. That's the, especially having a kid now, I think about that a lot. Like, we want to be better than the generation before us, so that we can, and hope the same for our children, that they will be better than us. So, progress. That's the goal. Moving forward. Without losing all the things that we have learned from the past. So, yeah, he says mama, 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 mama. Oh, he's so cute. So yeah, thank you all for watching and for being here. I really appreciate it, especially if you've come back after I was gone for so long. And if you're new, hi. I promise every episode will not be so long and ranty. Unless you like long and ranty episodes, and then I'm all about it. Because I like talking, and especially being stuck in the house all day with just me and the baby, and most of the time my husband, I need other people to talk to. So yes, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you want to find me online, I'm on Instagram as The Tatted Tatter. You can also email me if you really feel like it at thetattedtatterca@gmail.com about podcast related things. And let me know if you would like to get the book after I'm done. And then I will see you in 2 weeks. So thank you very much. You say bye-bye? Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Close enough. Hi everyone. Welcome to the Let's try that again.